analysis, and friendly conversation from two guys that go together like Scooby and Shaggy. Mike Will and Tyson Havronic.
Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to a brand new work week. It is a Monday, the 20th day of January for 2025. Mike Will, Tyson Havronic. It's another edition of Huddle Up here today on Extreme Sports. Going to be talking about the Nebraska men's basketball team. They made a run yesterday late against Maryland and lost to the Terrapins. Another road loss for the Huskers, losing to the Terps 69-66. The Nebraska women's basketball team in action tonight against Wisconsin. The Hastings College basketball teams were on the floor on Saturday against Morningside. Nebraska Kearney also in action against Northwest Missouri on this Saturday. We'll tell you how they did. The Creighton Blue Jays came up with a big win yesterday at 14th-ranked UConn. Actually, that game was on Saturday, but they beat 14th-ranked UConn on Saturday. Had some high school basketball over the weekend. We'll tell you about it. And, of course, we'll dive into the NFL playoffs and who won, who lost, who's out, who's in. And we'll get you set for a championship weekend coming up this weekend as they welcome in Tyson from the Western Studios this morning. Good morning.
And a good morning to you, Mike, as we wake up and get all set for part 4 of the continuing saga in the AFC. Another great football game last night in this snow. Nothing better than playoff football in the snow. The snow actually coming to the Buffalo Bills' aid late in that football game, as there was some drops, there was some fumbles, but nevertheless, Mahomes, Josh Allen, part 4. It's gonna be a very interesting week here on the Huddle Up show with our two allegiances. So,
yeah, Buffalo winning last night over Baltimore. The Chiefs winning on Saturday over Houston. Neither one I didn't think played an A number 1 game, but it was good enough to win.
Yeah, and good enough from like the Buffalo perspective, right? A couple different opportunities. You had to slow down the Baltimore offense. You had to figure out a way to take down Lamar Jackson. I had big question marks heading in I defensively, whether or not we were going to be able to make some stops. And lo and behold, you make a couple key stops, but you get a couple key breaks as well. And those key breaks being, the fumble late there by Mark Andrews, the drop 2-point conversion. I had a very funny feeling. I didn't like it. I texted some of my coaching buddies after the Bills kicked the field goal to take the 8-point lead instead of having the opportunity to kind of put the game on ice, so to speak, and get yourself that 2-score lead with under 90 seconds to go. I was questioning that decision, kind of yelling at my television screen at the time. All told, it turns out to be the right one as they end up dropping the 2-point conversion. But, you get the bounces to go your way, and now I think you get an entire week. Everybody knows. And Josh Allen even said in the post-game comments, he's like, we know Kansas City. We know what they're about. We know their team. We're going to focus on them, obviously. We're going to scout them up, obviously. But these two teams have such a familiarity with each other on the big stage. So get strapped in, get set for another classic. And then, like you mentioned, with Kansas City, I don't think they played their best game, which kind of scares me a little bit, because even though these two teams didn't play their best football in the divisional round, they made it to the Lamar Hunt Trophy matchup. So, we're going to see some pretty good football coming up next weekend.
Now, I know it's going to be an Arrowhead. It's going to be Arrowhead this year. Last year it was in Buffalo. Mm-hmm. So, the Chiefs have the home game against Buffalo on Sunday. The other game will have Washington taking on Philadelphia in Philly. Washington came up with a stunning win over Detroit, 43-31, and Philadelphia got by the Rams 28-23. Were you as surprised as I was with how Washington handled Detroit?
Yeah, and no doubt. Like I said, I had circled Detroit, well, I mean, 8 weeks ago on this show, halfway through the year, right before the Thanksgiving matchup, and I said, you know what? I'm going to tell you, Detroit's my Super Bowl favorite. You gave me a little bit of guff at the time, and then we kind of checked with America and checked with Vegas, and the next day they had started to side with me, and we all saw what Detroit had done with all their weapons offensively, but you forget to factor in, like, the Jaden Daniels factor. This kid is special, and he is something else. And you look at some of the teams that had the opportunity to go up and get him in the draft a year ago. It didn't do it. He had a lot of question marks in even in the college ball and whether or not he was even the deserving Heisman Trophy winner. And so he's dealt with this adversity. He's kind of been just the under the radar guy. Continues to just light the world on fire with his ability. I've been impressed with anybody with Jaden Daniels. And then if you don't discount the coaching change as well. They get rid of Riverboat Ron a year ago. Does the Washington they bring in new style of leadership, and it's paying off big time for the Commanders. They're a fun football team to watch at this moment. You know that 99% of America is going to be sitting behind Washington right now because they're playing the down and dirty Philly fans, and everybody likes it when Philadelphia loses. And so you know that there's going to be a lot of people behind this Washington football team. Can you do a stunner 2 weeks in a row? I mean, that's the big question for me.
I'm ready to name the MVP.
Okay. NFL MVP?
Just watching over the weekend, I'm ready to name my MVP. And it's not Lamar. It's not Lamar Jackson.
Okay.
I think Saquon Barkley, he's far and above. Yep. He rushed for 200 and some odd yards in their game. And he had a chance to set the single-season rushing record, but he sat out the final week. Saquon Barkley is the MVP.
Should be,
but he probably won't win it. It doesn't have to be.
It'll go to Josh Allen. I think that they pegged it like Josh Allen versus Lamar was essentially not only to get to the Lamar Hunt Trophy matchup coming up, but it was also for the NFL MVP. You heard it last night as Josh Allen was doing his interviews. His offensive linemen were all coming around and saying, MVP, baby, MVP. It's going to go to a quarterback. I'm with you. I lean towards Saquon Barkley.
It's a disgrace if you don't get it. It's a disgrace then.
Well, it's a disgrace that the Boise State running back isn't holding the Heisman Trophy right now. All he did was essentially go into the top 5 of all-time college football rushers, and he gets bypassed because it's not sexy to give it to a running back.
I think it's kind of sexy.
From a run the damn ball perspective like myself, hell yeah, I do too.
Yeah, we've been pushing this all year long.
Run the damn ball.
So Saquon did that, and he should get the damn trophy.
I don't disagree with you, even as a Bills fan. But man, Josh Allen, he goes to another level. When he puts that shoulder down and runs, that was impressive. And I look at the MVP trophy. Is Philly there without Saquon Barkley? Hell no. Is Buffalo there without Josh Allen? Certainly not. I just don't know. I'm a bit more torn because I have a little bit more Bills blood blowing through me.
Sure you do.
And so maybe this is a little bit harder decision than it should be. Saquon Barkley was impressive, and a full healthy season of Saquon was fun to watch. Does it go to a running back? That's the big question.
You know what? This is going to be a long week for you and me. I'm going to get so tired of you talking about the Buffalo Bills and Allen. I haven't even brought up the Chiefs and Mahomes yet.
Go ahead.
No, I'm not going to later in the week. Yeah, this is going to be a long week for you and I.
Oh, it's.
I'm not inviting you over on Sunday.
Really?
No. You sit over there with your Buffalo Bills fans. I'll gather with my Chiefs fans. We might touch base like at halftime. See how we're all doing.
It depends how the game's going.
No, I'll still touch base with you. Even if we're losing.
I don't know. I'm looking forward to it.
I haven't. Have you seen the early lines yet? I have not.
Buffalo, KC. I can pull it up here in like 2 seconds.
I didn't have a chance to even scope that. I'm sure they're out by now.
Oh, yeah. Let's see. Earliest line. Let's go down to Sunday. There we go. It's close. 1.5. Chiefs favorite.
What about the other game?
Let's see. 5. Eagles favored.
Wow.
Eagles favored by 5. Chiefs favored by 1.5. The over-unders at 48 and 48.5 respectively.
Okay.
So there you go.
All right. Our Blazing Five they're going to linger into tonight because we got the national championship game with Ohio State and Notre Dame.
Yep.
I didn't have a very good week. Based on the point spreads that I gave you on Friday, I did not have a good week. And
our
a lot of the
Friday
games,
lock-in.
a lot of the games, the point spread changed.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how you did, but I was 0-3-1. I pushed on Kansas City at 9, 23-14. The Chiefs won. I lost on Washington. Everybody did because you were also on Detroit.
Oh, yeah.
Detroit was favored by 10. Washington wins by 14. Let's see. I got a push on no, I got a loss at Philadelphia thanks to that late extra point that was missed. Thank you very much.
Yep.
God, that cost me. 28-23, the Eagles win by 5. They were favored by 6. I took Baltimore last night over Buffalo, and Buffalo wins by 2. Baltimore is favored by 1. So I officially went 0-3-1 with the lines that I gave you on Friday.
Yeah.
I know you had some different lines. So how'd you fare?
I ended up going 1-3 so far.
Okay.
Because I did not get the Texans when it was at 9, like I should have. I got them at 8.5. And,
sorry you.
We know the outcome there. KC by 8, so the 8.5, the point spread. Texans had like an opportunity to do something. They took a knee. The Texans took a knee. Throw the damn ball. Do something.
No, you're down by 9. You just
Go
end
out
the
with
game.
grace. Go out with grace.
You're in the game.
Go out with a little pride. Anyways, Texans into the game there. They had a chance. So there's the loss. Obviously, the Commanders' loss. I'm with you. That Rams game was disgusting. The extra point that spoiled the opportunity to at least pick up one win. My Bills were the only winner for me last night. And
Okay.
now I'm rolling on the Irish. So
Yeah, you're on Notre Dame tonight at what? -8?
+8, yep.
+8. I'm with Ohio State at -8. So, the national championship game tonight, 6:30, ESPN, Notre Dame and Ohio State. Finally, the end of the college football season. With this new playoff, I don't mind it. And I'm not bitching about it.
Yep.
But, God, here it is. Here it is, January the 20th, and we're finally going to crown our national champion in college football, a season that got underway back in August.
A season that you're used to ending on New Year's Day.
Yep.
Especially for the traditionalists out there. I mean, that the New Year's Day holiday was always kind of the culmination of the college football season. Here we are, 20 days later, and with all of this recruiting nonsense crap that's going around, allegations of poaching kids and trying to break off agreements and nil scholarships. This crap can't end fast enough and figure out how you're going to play this moving forward. This is a mess.
I think it's gonna get worse before it gets better.
Oh, they got to do something this offseason.
What are they gonna do?
I don't know if it's contracts. I don't know if it's guarantees. I don't know if it's written down in writing that this is all happening. But you look at the ACC and the Big Ten are in a fist fight right now with what's going on over with Wisconsin and Miami, and it's just you try to.
Well, I've been trying to stay up to date on.
I'm trying. I'm with you.
Who Nebraska has and who they have lost. You can't do it anymore because now you got people that have decided they were going to stay where they were at and not come to Nebraska. I lost track. Just give me the 105-player roster next fall, and we'll say, who is this guy? Oh, yeah, that's that guy we picked up from Southern Illinois. Who's this guy starting at wide receiver? Oh, that's that guy we picked up from Auburn. Yeah, because I've tried my damnedest to keep up to date on who the Huskers have and who they don't have, who they picked up and who they lost. You can't do it anymore.
Oh,
Unless you're sitting in the office with the guys.
it's a full-time job.
Oh, yeah.
It's a full-time job just to follow it, and then that's why people get paid to run these sites and contribute to these sites like On3 that follows everything. And like I said, I tried to follow it, and one article. I mean, it's like the damn TikTok ban.
Yeah.
One article I'm reading in 24 hours earlier, I'm reading all this about how it's going to go away, and then the Chinese company's going to just not discontinue its service here in the States. And then lo and behold, 3 hours later, I'm like, well, why does everyone still have TikTok? Oh, because it's still a thing. Because we apparently made a comment trying to follow that, right? It's the same thing. One moment one guy's at a school, and then the next moment he realizes that he's not going to go, and then maybe his meal deal didn't shore up, and now he's going to go somewhere else. And
Yeah, the TikTok thing over the weekend was kind of strange.
the mind boggles.
It was down for about, I don't know, 12 hours.
Yep.
Saturday night into Sunday, and then our newly elected president makes a little comment that says he's going to put a 90-day extension on the ban, at least 90 days. He's going to keep TikTok on because he's a big firm follower, and
He's the one that wanted to get rid of it
I know, but now he wants to keep it because
because he's getting paid.
yeah, and he's got all these followers, and he does all of his complaining on TikTok. It's going to be a long process here.
Inauguration day is today, by the way.
1,455 days.
Inauguration day is today.
Keep that in mind. Keep the number in mind. 1,455 and counting.
Yep.
You know what that means?
Nope.
I'll text you.
Okay.
1,455.
You gotta feel like it's like a long time away.
It's 4 years away.
Okay.
It's 4 years
I
away.
could put 2 and 2 together there.
Okay. I don't have to text you then.
No, you don't.
I just pulled that up today. 1,455 days I've got to get through.
Okay. Whew.
You
Starts
can-
today.
It starts today. I can hardly wait. I know some people it's taken off today
Why?
because of the inauguration.
I mean, it's a federal holiday. Just
Martin
use
Luther
that.
King.
Yeah, use that.
But no, they didn't take it off for that.
No.
These are people that are not in a position to have the federal holiday. They just took off because they want to watch the inauguration today.
You've seen one, you've seen them all.
1,455 days. No, you can't say that. You've seen one and seen them all because the last one we had, the last inauguration was not typical.
No.
Because who didn't carry through on some of the traditions like all the other 8,000 presidents we've had. Mm-hmm. So the last inauguration was not typical. You can't say you've seen them one, you've seen them all, because the last one was not traditional.
Maybe I should just phrase it. There's just some that I don't want to watch. Yeah. How about I'll phrase it that way then?
We're trying to be nice.
Doing our damnedest, dude.
I know. But this is our show. We can do anything we want.
This is really
Hell,
hard.
if we don't like the guy, we don't have to say we like the guy. Anyway,
Yeah.
yeah. What time does that even start? For the people who are interested in that,
coverage is starting at like 10:30 on most sites that I saw.
10:30 our time.
Yep, 10:30 Central. It was like when the beginning of the coverage is. I don't know when the actual.
Oh, he had a big party last night.
Yeah, there's the big pomp and circumstance, and you get to welcome in all the people, and
But I watched the clip. I don't know why I clicked on it, only because I like the Village People and YMCA. Yeah, the Village People, they performed last night at his little pre-inauguration rally. Should have seen Donald Trump doing YMCA. I don't know if he ever heard the song.
the Village People are still kicking, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
So they performed. They were all decked out in their attire, and they sang YMCA. You would think the president-elect would know how YMCA works, so you got to go, YMCA. No, he didn't do that. He didn't do that. He just kind of sat there and jiggied with it.
It's like the simplest. I mean, that's grade school dance moves, man.
He must not have knew the song or the routine.
Boy, I feel like that should have been in a presidential debate at some point. Do you know
some of the important things?
Do you know like the most iconic American dance moves, like YMCA?
God. Anyway, yeah, we're not going to get too political yet.
No.
I got 1,455 days to go.
And speaking of political, we got Lauren Lippincott today.
He's
going to be a guest. He's got a few bills that he's introduced in the Nebraska legislature. I had an opportunity to catch up with him on Friday.
He's from like Central City, isn't he?
Yep, up north in Central City. And has elected to Legislative District 34. That includes like Aurora, Giltner, Central City, Fullerton, some of those communities. So
yeah, we're going to talk with him.
Yep, had a chance to catch up with him, bills he's introduced, why he's introduced, and we'll get into all that and more coming up here later on in the show.
More than just a sports talk show here on this, where we're at,
Monday?
Wherever you're watching us. Yeah, we're more than just a sports thing. We'll dive our little toes into the political arena occasionally, see what's going on.
Just like in sports, as in politics, we're not experts on anything.
No.
We have a lot of opinions on everything.
Yeah. Nobody listens to us.
Maybe do we have opinions?
Yeah. If people would listen to us a little bit more often, maybe we can get something done.
There you go.
Anyway, thanks for listening to us, no matter where you're listening to us, either on our website at x-streamsports.com, smartphone, with our free mobile app, our smart speaker, Roku TV, Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitch. If you want to leave us a message, we'd love to share those messages. Drop us a message. Tyson will monitor those. Better yet, if you'd like to give us a call, we love to chat with people. Like we said, we're experts on nothing, so you'll probably sound pretty bright on this show. 402-834-1330 is our telephone number, 402-834-1330 if you'd like to join us on the phone. We haven't even scratched the surface on the stuff that we're going to talk about here today, so hang in there. Let's get a news update at 7:22 on Extreme Sports.
It's time for a morning news update on Extreme Sports.
News this hour brought to you by Hastings Federal Credit Union, where they've been lighting the way to financial success since 1946. Hastings Federal Credit Union, proud to be your trusted long-term financial partner. As a nonprofit financial cooperative, the credit union is owned by the members who join. And joining, well, it's as simple as opening a primary savings account. Committed to providing the highest level of quality services, the Hastings Federal Credit Union provides those services to those living or working in Adams, Clay, Webster, Nuckolls, Thayer, and Fillmore counties. And with affordable loan rates, mobile banking, and a friendly staff that treats you like family, why would you go anywhere else? That's Hastings Federal Credit Union, 707 North Marion Road, or online at hastingsfcu.org. Hastings Federal Credit Union is an equal housing lender. We'll start off this morning at the state capitol, where on Friday, State Senator Stan Klaus of Kearney, the former Kearney mayor, has introduced legislation to legalize online sports betting and route that business through the state's casinos. He said that makes sure that the state gets its share of tax revenue from the betting. Klaus's proposed legislation would also remove the current restriction on betting on college games played in Nebraska. 3% of any tax revenue would go to the Compulsive Gamblers Assistance Fund under the legislation. Thank you, Stan Klaus. A Grand Island woman accused of stealing from families who went to her gravestone business will not be heading to trial after a judge ruled her mentally incompetent. 47-year-old Kelly Lepler was charged with 46 counts of theft by deception connected to her headstone company Monument Advisors. Lepler had been held without bond, or will be held without bond, and transported to the Lincoln Regional Center for competency restoration once a bed is available. The judge ordered a review in 90 days, with the hearing set for April 21st. And the online saga this weekend, TikTok, went on offline briefly on Sunday as its ban by the U.S. government took effect. Then incoming President Donald Trump said he would revive the social media platform, prompting it to resume services. As Trump said on Saturday that he would most likely give TikTok 90 days to work out a deal that would allow it to avoid a U.S. ban. Well, shortly thereafter, TikTok then restored its services and put out a statement saying, quote, "We thank President Trump for providing the necessary clarity and assurance to our service providers that they will face no penalties for hosting TikTok. and that it will work with President Trump on a long-term solution. Mind you, the keyword most likely will give TikTok 90 days. Anyways, that saga, apparently TikTok's still operating, so continue your scrolls unavoided. 7:25, we'll go back over to Mike Will in the Eastern Studios. Mike, what's happening in sports?
Pinnacle Bank Arena. The Huskers are 14-4 on the season, 5-2 in the conference. The Badgers are 10-8. They are 1-6 in the league. Nebraska has won 14 games in a row. They have an 8-game winning streak in the series of the Badgers, and Nebraska has won the last 9 games in Lincoln. In fact, Wisconsin has never won inside Pinnacle Bank Arena. Tip-off will be at 7 on BTN. Hastings College men's basketball team had a 6-point lead with 3:11 remaining in the game on Saturday, but lost to Morningside 94-86. The Broncos outshot the Mustangs 58% to 55%. Hastings hit 10 of 17 three-pointers. Morningside was 10 of 23, but the Mustangs outscored the Broncos 24-14 at the free throw line. Teron Hall scored 24 points for the Broncos. Hastings now 2-17. They're 1-11 in the conference. They'll play at Waldorf on Saturday. Hastings College women's basketball team lost to Morningside 97-90. The Mustangs hit 16 of 19 free throws in the fourth quarter and were 26 of 30 for the game. The Broncos finished the game 6 of 8 from the free throw line. McKenna Yates had 21 points for the Broncos, and Bowes had 19, Kernan Polk 17. Hastings now 13-6 on the season, 8-5 in the conference. They'll also play at Waldorf on Saturday. The Nebraska Kearney women's basketball team beat Northwest Missouri 73-65 on Saturday. The Lopers now 13-3. They are 6-1 in the MIAA. The men lost to Missouri Western 83-72. The Lopers are now 6-9. They're 4-3 in the conference. UNK will play at Central Oklahoma on Thursday. Jemiah Neal had a career-high 24 points to lead Creighton to a 68-63 win over 14th-ranked UConn on Saturday, snapping the Huskies' 28-game home winning streak. Ryan Kalkbrenner had 16 points, and Stephen Ashford scored 12 for the Blue Jays. Creighton is now 12-6. They are 5-2 in the Big East. High school basketball from Saturday. The Adams Central girls beat Donovan Trumbull 71-36. In the boys' game, Donovan Trumbull defeated Adams Central 56-48. The St. Cecilia girls beat Kearney Catholic 37-29, and the St. Cecilia boys lost to the Stars 79-47. That's a check on your sports headlines this morning. It is 7:28 on Extreme Sports.
It's time for a morning weather update on Extreme Sports with Chief Meteorologist Tim Jones.
As we start this new work and school week, it's going to be chilly, but only for a few more days. Hey everybody, Tim Jones here, Nebraska Weather TV. 9 degrees is the high today. We should have mostly sunny skies, but the winds return. They'll gust up to 30 miles per hour. That will bring the wind chill values between 10 and 20 below. About 9 below overnight tonight, 28 on Tuesday. Then as we get through the rest of the week, the wind returns again on Wednesday, a high of 38 and 30s the rest of the week.
Right now, as we get going here this morning, we've got north winds at 9, partly cloudy, 0 in Hastings. The wind chill is at -10 at Extreme Sports.
Accessible and affordable holistic care is just around the corner at Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center. Located at 208 South Burlington Avenue, Suite 101 in Hastings. At Bamboo Spa, we offer a range of therapies to help you unwind and recharge. Experience soothing massages, rejuvenating head spa scalp treatments, and our Advanced Glow 2 facials. Discover the healing power of ozone therapy and frequency healing. Become a member for exclusive 24-hour access to our therapeutic amenities, including the infrared sauna, hydro massage, and cryo lounge. Members enjoy 20% off all services and 10% off products in our non-toxic retail shop. Visit our Facebook page to learn more and book your appointment today. Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center, truly holistic care, designed for you.
I'm John Butler, Funeral Director and owner at Livingston Butler Volland Funeral Home and Cremation Center in Hastings.
And I'm Nikki Butler, the Advanced Funeral Planning Specialist. Whether you choose a traditional service, cremation, or a unique memorial service, our experienced staff is here to help guide you through every step. Visit us at lbvfh.com to learn more about our services and how we can support you.
Livingston Butler Volland Funeral Home and Cremation Center. We are here when your need is greatest.
Hamilton has been providing IT solutions for businesses across the state of Nebraska for more than 3 decades. We know that Nebraska businesses are a driving force of support for the communities in which we live and work. We keep them connected and protected by delivering cybersecurity, hosted phones, and managed IT. We are grateful to be part of our Nebraska communities and to support their technology needs.
More information at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Extreme Sports has been bringing you the exclusive home of Hastings College Athletics, and we're just getting started. Thanks to our incredible sponsors and your support, Extreme Sports 2 has been a huge success. And now we're excited to announce the launch of Extreme Sports 3. With Extreme Sports 3, you'll get even more local sports coverage. Plus, 24/7 access to Sports by Line, where you'll hear the best in national sports talk. Whether it's Hastings College, high school action, or the latest from around the sports world, we've got it covered across all 3 streams. And don't forget, when we're not broadcasting games, join us weekday mornings from 7 to 8 a.m. for Huddle Up with Mike Will and Tyson Havronik. It's the perfect way to start your day with sports, news, weather, and great local interviews. So tune in, check out all 3 streams, and stay with us for even more sports coverage coming soon. Thank you to our sponsors for making it all possible, and to you, our listeners, for keeping Extreme Sports strong.
All right, Mike Will, Tyson Havronik with you on this Monday morning, Martin Luther King Day here today, the 20th day of January for 2025. Had some high school basketball over the weekend, some good games. We've got some high school stuff coming up tomorrow. Adams Central is going to be playing at Ord tomorrow. Hastings St. Cecilia down at Superior. We've got Hastings College basketball in the air again on Saturday. The Broncos don't play their midweek game this week. This is our bye week for a Wednesday, so the Broncos have a week to prepare for Waldorf. We'll make the trip to Forest City, Iowa on Saturday to take on the Warriors.
Forest City, Iowa, in the below zero temperatures outside. Yeah. That's
looking forward to the
awful
trip. We were there for football.
Mm-hmm.
It's a long way up there.
Yep.
So we'll be taking off and have Bronco basketball. First time we'll be playing basketball at Waldorf.
Is the facilities slightly upgraded from football?
I don't know. I think I told you this last week. I talked to a couple of radio folks around the conference.
Spotlight. That's right.
Yeah, this is the place where it's got the ladder.
Oh boy.
I'm not sure if it's just like a couple of steps up to this platform that I'm going to be broadcasting from on Saturday, or is this like 17 steps up? I can hardly wait to get
It's
there.
important to know how many steps, especially when you're trying to haul all your shit behind you.
Yeah. all my gear.
Yeah, that's
You know I don't travel lightly.
no.
No, I've got like 14 bags. I looked at that yesterday. I thought I really need to get down to, but I can't.
If you want, come over. I'll show you this case that I got that can like hold all your bags and your case.
No, then you got to carry that big case up the ladder.
Right, but
that doesn't help me any.
It saves you a trip or two.
I'll take the 2 or 3 trips.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
I can't get like a big old gigantic suitcase up the ladder.
Yeah, that would be like as if somebody was like on your back and trying to yeah, that wouldn't work out very well.
I'm not looking forward to it. I'll take a picture.
The more I thought about that and the more I visualized that, I'm like, oh no, that would be awful.
Yeah, the IT
like
guy.
An anchor.
The IT told me that the other day. Just get a bigger case.
Yeah.
Then I had to explain to him where you put this big old case like at basketball games.
Yeah.
And how do you get this big old case up all these stairs that go up to the press box in football?
You know what that would prevent, though? Is if you put, like, the big old case behind you at some gyms. I'm not going to specify which gyms, but at some gyms, you get crammed in there, and you're kind of down, like, in the middle, not necessarily up top or on court side, and you're sort of in the middle hanging out, and you get them big fans with the big legs and the big knees that are like right on your back.
Yeah.
Right on your back. And you pull back for like a 3-pointer or an exciting play and then you hit their knees and you're like, oh, sorry, I'm trying to work here. Could you give me maybe just a Scotia space?
Yeah, you could put that back there and like save a seat.
Yeah, it would be like essentially a backrest.
Yeah. There are some advantages.
But carrying up ladders are not among them.
No. I'll send you a picture on Saturday when I get there.
Husker Hoops also in action this weekend? Maryland.
Yeah, the women played tonight. The women played tonight against Wisconsin. It'll be 7 o'clock on BTN. So if you watch the national championship football game and it gets out of hand tonight, you can flip over and watch Nebraska women on BTN.
What are you saying?
I'm saying that Ohio State, I think, it's not going to be a contest tonight.
Oh.
I think your Irish are going to go down big time. So when you get bored of watching Ohio State get into the end zone time and time again, and you get bored of watching football, the Huskers are on BTN tonight, 7 o'clock starting time from PBA, the Huskers and Wisconsin.
You know what I'm excited for? The kickoff being at 6:30. Can I just hug and kiss whoever made that decision?
I bet you're not done by 11.
Oh, shut up. That would suck.
No, I bet you're not done by 11.
Well, you just said that Ohio State's going to come out and score 3 touchdowns and put the game away, so I might be done by 7.
It might be. You can turn it off at 7, but I bet coverage is not done by 11.
Ugh, God, that's horrible.
So you were looking for an early night to bed? No, I bet even though the game starts at 6:30, I bet it'll be drug out. Halftime will be long. Commercial breaks will be long. You won't get out of there much before 11 o'clock.
No. But still, it's a hell of a lot better than the damn thing starting at 8:30.
Oh, yeah, that makes no sense.
And I'm looking at you, March Madness, and they do it all of the time.
Yeah.
Well, let's start this game at 8:30. Screw you. It's Monday. I got to work tomorrow.
And most of the country would. Like the East Coast, that would be a 9:30 start.
Yeah.
Why are you starting games at 9:30 on the East Coast?
Is it because nobody is watching on the East Coast? Is that a thing?
We got to cater to the West Coast viewers, where that would be, 8:30 would be 6:30 out there. See, out there it would be good.
Out there, primetime viewing.
Yeah.
They were all ticked off that they were still like in rush hour traffic when a lot of these contests were starting. Well, it's better than being in bed.
Pity. I pity the folks. Anyway, Nebraska men late 9-0 run on the road yesterday at Maryland, tied the game in the final minutes, but couldn't get over the hump. Terrapins go on to win 69-66 yesterday in College Park. Husker head coach Fred Hoiberg.
I was really proud of the effort our guys gave out there tonight. We're not about moral victories, but our guys gave us a chance to win because of effort. And they continue to go out there and battle. And if we play like that, we're going to win. We're going to win a lot of games here the rest of the way. We're going through a tough stretch right now. We've got 4 in a row now, that we've lost. Most teams in this league will go through some type of stretch like this, and we got to respond. We've got a big one coming up at home next week.
Yeah, Huskers will take on USC this week. Again, Andrew Morgan off of the bench, season high 17 points for the Huskers. Bryce Williams chipped in with 14. Jawan Gary scored 6 points to reach 1,000 for his career. But Aaron Eulis posted a career high 10 assists in the ball
Aaron
game.
was phenomenal. That's his best game of the season. 10 assists, 1 turnover against this defense. That's really good. The press, I think we had 6 turnovers in the first 5 minutes. And I thought we'd calm down from there, and I really thought it was our bench, led by Aaron. And I thought Sam had some good moments out there, and then Andrew Morgan I thought was terrific all game long. So we had guys. Burke knocked down a couple threes. That's huge for him, and hopefully a confidence builder for him moving forward. That's a game changer when you got a front court player that can knock down shots and stretch the defense out. We haven't had a lot of that this year, and we got to make the layup. We missed a couple easy ones at the rim. You can't leave points on the board, especially when you're on the road in this league.
So the Huskers, they lose yesterday, 12-6 now in the season, 2-5 in the Big Ten. Host USC Wednesday, tip-off at 8 on BTN, and all of a sudden the Huskers in trouble for postseason play.
Yeah. Yep. And the road contests have been a thorn in the side. I'm starting to think, though, that it's probably a little more than just being in the friendly confines, playing at home. These runs, you can flash back to Iowa. You got a 15-point lead. The inability to finish teams, put teams away, it's kind of a story, and it's been a story with Husker basketball, and I'm just hoping that we can get over the line and finish. We had that exciting win against Creighton. We had the win against UCLA, and, God damn, 2 weeks ago I was talking about us being ranked, and now it's like, and now we're probably not even on the last 4 out chart. So gotta find ways to pick up some wins. We got yourself into the Big Ten tournament, make a little run.
That's what's going to happen. We're going to have to get on a little run here at the end of the season.
Yep.
Get into the Big Ten tournament and win some games. And then hope that we'll get one of the last spots in the big dance. But we were in, then we were the first team out, and now we're probably not even on the radar screen.
Yeah, I wouldn't. If I was throwing things together, I wouldn't have Nebraska on the radar.
Not at 12-6.
Nope.
2-5 in the Big Ten. We haven't won a road game yet, have we?
Nope. Got to get some wins.
Got to
go on a run.
We've lost 4 in a row. I think all 4 have been on the road. I think they are, yeah. We've lost 4 in a row on the road.
And Maryland isn't special. Like, that was a winnable game.
We should have won that game.
That was one that you want to have.
So anyway, we've got problems there. Problems all over the place.
Nope.
I'm glad that our state senators are diving into the gambling.
There's nothing.
There's nothing else that the state senators can do down in Lincoln at this point in time. They have no other problems on their plate for this legislative session, and they're diving into the gambling issue early.
They had to fix what they didn't have right. The online inability to go online is mind numbing. The casino that's at Fauner Park, the sports book, has a mobile app, which you can't use in Nebraska because we didn't have that legislation groundwork laid out for them. So that is mind-numbingly frustrating. Like, I would love to continue to support Elite, but I don't want to drive up 20 miles every time I want to place a damn bet, especially when the line moves. I'm not driving 20 minutes because the line moved half a point. I'm going to place it on my phone, which I have been all season long. And so we didn't have that worked out. And we had the audacity to say we can't bet on college games that are happening, and that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. And so I'm glad we're closing that loophole. Kudos to Stan Klaus. Kudos to the former Kearney mayor. Golfed with him in an outing one time.
You golfed with Stan Klaus?
Yep, he was in our group. Well, he wasn't in our group. He wasn't on our team, but he was with the carts that got paired up together. So his foursome and our foursome got paired off in a
I bet you
golf scramble.
I bet you gave him a thing or two, didn't you?
My opinions?
With your golf game and his? I've seen you play golf.
His golf game.
Yeah, it's pretty
here.
good.
My golf game here, lingering, okay? My ability to have some aim and oil that brings my golf game up to about a here before we have the ultimate crash on the back 9. We had a great time.
I know you probably had a good time, but
we had a great time.
I could just imagine you golfing with the mayor of Kearney.
With two Bloody Marys in, and I'm telling him all about how to fix Kearney. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I know how to fix Kearney. I live here.
I bet that was a very interesting conversation. Very interesting. Anyway, are we going to do...
That's good stuff.
We're going to do your interview before or after our news break?
You want to hit it after?
We can.
Yeah.
If that's the case, we better get to our news break then.
Let's do it.
All right, it's 7:45 now on Extreme Sports.
It's time for a morning news update on Extreme Sports.
News this hour brought to you by the Hastings Federal Credit Union, where since 1946, Hastings Federal Credit Union has been a part of the Hastings community, and it's a community that is at the heart of everything they do. With a convenient drive-up 24-hour ATM and a friendly staff that knows each member by name, why would you go anywhere else? Hastings Federal Credit Union, 707 North Marion Road, or online at hastingsfcu.org. Hastings Federal Credit Union is an equal housing lender. We'll start off this morning where a Grand Island woman accused of stealing from families who went to her gravestone business will not be heading to trial after a judge ruled her mentally incompetent. 47-year-old Kelly Lepler was charged with 46 counts of theft by deception connected to her headstone company, Monument Advisors. Lepler will be held without bond and transported to the Leakin Regional Center for competency restoration once a bed is available. The judge then ordered a review in 90 days, with the hearing set for April 21st. As made mention, Senator Stan Klaus of Kearney introduced legislation to legalize online sports betting and a route that businesses will then go through the state's casinos. He said that's a way to make sure the state gets its share of tax revenue from the betting. Klaus's proposed legislation would also remove the current restriction on betting on college games played in Nebraska. Three claps. 3% of that tax revenue would go to the Compulsive Gamblers Assistance Fund under the legislation. And finally, TikTok went offline briefly on Sunday as its ban by the U.S. government took effect. However, incoming President Donald Trump, who will be inaugurated today, said he would revive the social media platform, prompting it to resume its services. Trump said on Saturday that he would, quote, most likely give TikTok 90 days to work out a deal that would allow it to avoid a U.S. ban. Shortly thereafter, TikTok then restored services and in a statement thanked the president for providing necessary clarity and assurance to their service providers that they would face no penalties for hosting TikTok. It is now 7:47. Let's flip it back over to the East Side Studios. What's happening in sports?
The Nebraska men's basketball team put together a late 9-0 run on the road at Maryland to tie the game in the final minutes, but the Terps held on for a 69-66 win yesterday in College Park, Maryland. The Huskers will host USC on Wednesday. The Nebraska women's basketball team will play Wisconsin tonight at PBA. Tip-off will be at 7 on BTN. Hastings College men's basketball team had a 6-point lead with 3:11 remaining in the game on Saturday, but lost to Morningside 94-86. Hastings College women, they lost to Morningside 97-90. Hastings College will play at Waldorf on Saturday beginning at 2 and at 3:45 will be their pregame show at 1:45 on Saturday. The Nebraska Kearney women's basketball team beat Northwest Missouri 73-65 on Saturday. The men, they lost to Missouri Western 83-72. Both teams will play at Central Oklahoma on Thursday. And Creighton knocked off 14th-ranked UConn on Saturday, snapping the Huskies' 28-game winning streak at home. Final score 68-63. The Jays are now 12-6. They're 5-2 in conference play. That's a check in the sports headlines at 7:50 on Extreme Sports.
It's time for a morning weather update on Extreme Sports with Chief Meteorologist Tim Jones.
As we start this new work and school week, it's going to be chilly, but only for a few more days. Hey everybody, Tim Jones here, Nebraska Weather TV. 9 degrees is the high today. We should have mostly sunny skies, but the winds return. They'll gust up to 30 miles per hour. That will bring the wind chill values between 10 and 20 below. About 9 below overnight tonight, 28 on Tuesday. Then as we get through the rest of the week, the wind returns again on Wednesday, a high of 38 and 30s the rest of the week.
North winds at 9 miles per hour. Partly cloudy at 0 in Hastings. The wind chill is at -10.
Accessible and affordable holistic care is just around the corner at Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center. Located at 208 South Burlington Avenue, Suite 101 in Hastings. At Bamboo Spa, we offer a range of therapies to help you unwind and recharge. Experience soothing massages, rejuvenating head spa scalp treatments, and our Advanced Glow 2 facials. Discover the healing power of ozone therapy and frequency healing. Become a member for exclusive 24-hour access to our therapeutic amenities, including the infrared sauna, hydromassage, and cryo lounge. Members enjoy 20% off all services and 10% off products in our non-toxic retail shop. Visit our Facebook page to learn more and book your appointment today. Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center, truly holistic care, designed for you.
Connet Auto Care is the trusted name in automotive repair and maintenance services in Hastings. We're a gold-certified Napa Auto Care Center. Our ASE-certified technicians have the Blue Seal of Excellence, receive continuous training, and are committed to providing the best service your vehicle can get. Whether it's preventative maintenance, major repairs, or just an oil change, Connet Auto Care is here for you.
Hi, Mike Will, Tyson Vronic, a Monday morning, 7:51, and we've got a special guest going to join us here today.
That's right. Checking in for the first time here in the legislative session with one of our local state senators, one that's created quite a buzz over the first couple weeks of the legislature, introducing legislation for winner-take-all when it comes to Nebraska elections, as well as he's got another piece of legislation out there dealing with the filibuster rule, otherwise known as like the Ernie Chambers rule, most recently used by Senator Michaela Cavanaugh to try to stall the legislative session. We're going to get to all that and more. This will be over the course of the next couple days. We did talk at length on Friday afternoon, but over the course of the next couple days, hearing from District 34 State Senator Lauren Lippincott, who was kind enough to be our first state senator that we've had here on Huddle Up.
It's Huddle Up, Central Nebraska's newest morning show, and first on the show today, the first of many, I hope, a state senator joining us from the state capitol for the very latest on what's going on in the Nebraska legislature. Pleased to be joined this morning by Senator Lauren Lippincott from District 34, covering the Giltner, Aurora, Central City, Fullerton area, a big chunk of Central Nebraska joining us here. And Senator, first of all, good morning, and thank you for the time.
Tyson, it's a pleasure to talk to you again. Thank you, sir.
Senator, another year of experience at the state capitol for you, and now some added responsibilities. This session of becoming chair of the Rules Committee, and one of those rules that gets frequently discussed, votes needed to overcome a filibuster, the old Ernie Chambers playbook, most recently used by Senator Cavanaugh. Last I heard, yourself mulling around a proposal to get the votes from 33 to 30. Is this an issue that we will see brought back up again this legislative session?
Well, it was introduced in our Rules Committee hearing yesterday, and we will be looking at that again this coming Tuesday before it is brought out of committee and onto the floor of the legislature. So we're still looking at that. And as you said, Tyson, we actually have a couple of different options that we are looking at. One is to change from 2/3 to 3/4 or 3/5, and that would change. The effective change would require 33 votes, which we currently have with the 2/3 rule, and it would require 33 votes in order to end a filibuster, and then it would hit the floor and would only require a simple majority vote after that. So that's what we've been operating under presently, but there's another option to look at, and that would be the 3/5 vote, which would then lower the threshold to 30 votes. And just FYI, Tyson, it's interesting to note that the United States Senate used to be at 2/3 in order to end a filibuster, and they reduced theirs to 3/5. They went from 67 votes down to 60 votes to end a filibuster in the U.S. Senate. And that has helped them in the whole sausage-making process in Washington, D.C. So we are looking at that as one proposal. And then the other proposal, Tyson, is one that would be we call it a sliding rule, and it would be 2/3 of the people present not voting. Mm-hmm. So let's just say, for instance, instead of 49 all state senators voting, it would be require 33 votes. But if only, let's say, 48 state senators were voting, then the 2/3 vote would drop down to a number of 32 state senators. So it would be reduced by one number. So it would be a sliding scale depending on how many state senators are presently voting. Does that make sense, Tyson?
Yeah, no, it makes perfect sense, and a couple different options appear to be on the table there in the Rules Committee when it comes to trying to overcome some legislative filibusters. Again, District 34 Senator Lauren Lippincott joining us here this morning on Huddle Up. 2 months ago, the state was on the verge of a potential special session a few days before Election Day to change how the state distributes its electoral college votes. Ultimately, the votes falling short at that time. The Omaha-centric 2nd District goes blue. Doesn't make much of a splash in the grand scheme of that presidential election, but 2 months later, the issue likely to hear again on the floor. You've introduced LB3 at the request of the governor to make Nebraska a winner-take-all state. Did the election shake up and make up in the legislature change enough to where you feel that you might have the support and confidence that this will pass?
Yes, the winner-take-all has gained a great deal of attention recently. And last year, we were about 2 votes short. Right now, we are right on the verge of having the votes that we need to override a filibuster to get 33 votes within the chamber. That is yet to be seen, so we are very aggressively and alertly looking at this, and hopefully we will get the needed votes to overcome a filibuster for winner-take-all. And Tyson, I don't know how deep you want to get into talking about winner-take-all, but I'll just start off with the bottom line on winner-take-all. Winner-take-all is an important issue for Nebraska. We've only had this so-called district plan that we currently have, and the only other state is the state of Maine. Both Maine and Nebraska have this so-called district plan, and I can talk about that more fully in just a few moments. But winner-take-all is important because of the same reason that the Electoral College is important, and the same reason that the United States Senate is important, and that is this: it spreads out representation even to rural areas, the rural part of the state of Nebraska, and also the rural states in the United States. So it's very important. It has worked very well for nearly 250 years here in the USA. And so I think it's something that's important. We need to get back on board because right now, Nebraska is an outlier. We are not doing the same thing as the other 48 states in terms of having our electoral votes counted.
Again, Senator Lauren Lippincott joining us here on Huddle Up as we continue to discuss what's been going on in the legislature, all part of the first 10 days of bill introduction, and certainly we've seen plenty of those introduced. Let's continue to focus a little bit on overcoming a filibuster and maybe going back to a winner-take-all state. The legislature, officially nonpartisan, as we know, but speaking candidly, I think there's plenty of knowledge based on voting records and campaign debates. We know where some senators sit on the red-blue divider line. Reading comments on this, and as this bill was introduced, There are some that out there that are feeling like this is maybe a Republican power grab, changing the filibuster threshold, eliminating the blue dot. How would you respond to those comments?
Well, that's why right now is a great time, because the presidential campaign and election, that's behind us now. So we don't have to worry about that. So that kind of makes that argument moot. But what we want to do is we want to operate on principle. Anytime we're changing any type of policy, we always want to do it on principle. And Tyson, if I may kind of talk a little bit about the evolution of how the so-called district plan came to be. Of course. I think it's very important that people become knowledgeable on it. So let me address that very briefly. Tyson, back in 1972, a good long time ago, the state of Maine instituted this district plan. And what I mean when I say district plan, we know that, and I'll shift now and talk about Nebraska for just one moment. Nebraska, we know, like all 50 states, have 2 U.S. senators. In addition to our 2 U.S. senators that go to Washington, D.C., we also have 3 U.S. representatives. They also go to Washington, D.C. So 3 plus 2 is 5. We have 5 electoral votes that are assigned to us here in Nebraska. Now, the great state of Maine, they have 4 electoral votes. They have 2 U.S. senators and they have 2 U.S. representatives. So back in 1972, the state of Maine, in order to give, quote, third-party candidates an opportunity to be heard and counted, what they did was they divided up their 2 U.S. representative electoral votes and made it so that those votes could be split off. So they would not have to be all winner-take-all for the state of Maine. So that was back in 1972, and they did that for a candidate by the name of John Schmitz. He was a Republican running for president, and he was from Orange County, California. You haven't heard of him, neither have I. It was a flash in the pan. That was 1972, and Maine has kept that ever since then. Now, we go forward 20 years to 1992, and we here in Nebraska, we joined Maine, and we also then adopted the district plan. Now, the truth is, Tyson, that we tried it in 1990, it failed. 1991, it failed. And in 1992, then the legislature did adopt it by a slim majority, 25 votes. We adopted the district plan. However, just a few years later, in 1995, the Nebraska legislature said, golly gee whiz, I think we made a mistake. So they undid it. They decided to go back to winner take all. However, our Democratic governor at the time, Ben Nelson, he reversed course. He did a veto on that bill, and there were not enough votes to override the veto, so we maintained the district plan. Then it was Groundhog Day, and they did the exact same thing 2 years later. In 1997, the legislature went back to winner take all. Ben Nelson vetoed it. So that's where we are today. But overall, Tyson, we have addressed this issue 11 different times. And again, the problem is that Nebraska needs to be uniformity. There needs to be a standardization across all 50 states and do it one way, and that would be winner take all. Now, Tyson, you would probably ask me, well, how about if all the other 48 states then would go ahead and adopt the district plan? Okay, let's talk about that. In the year 2012, when Mitt Romney was running against Barack Obama, if the whole country would have been the district plan, like what Nebraska and Maine have, then we would have had Mitt Romney as our president. So my point in bringing that up, Tyson, is that going to the district plan does not necessarily favor the Republicans or the Democrats. The question is uniformity. That is the important part. And again, I would add again that the system has worked very well in America for nearly 250 years. And Tyson is kind of interesting. You probably know this already, but the average length of any country's constitution in the world is about 17 years. Well, we're at 250 years, so apparently we're doing something right. And I think that the Electoral College is one of those things that preserves our Constitution and our constitutional republic. and it's been working very well. And by the way, Tyson, I would also add this little caveat, and that is other countries have tried having three-party candidates. They have tried having the district plan. And Tyson, it does not work well. In fact, it's been a disaster in the other countries that have done it. So it doesn't work well. And since I'm on a roll right now, Tyson, a lot of people are saying, well, this really brings a lot of money into Omaha, into the so-called second congressional district for presidential elections. And statistics will show you, Tyson, that is not true. It sounds like a great selling point. The problem is it's just not true. Another thing that they're talking about right now for a selling point, and that is this. They say, well, they bring in the presidential candidates, and they come in to Omaha a great deal since we have the district plan. Again, that sounds like a really great sales point. The problem is, Tyson, it's simply not true. The presidential candidates coming into Omaha has not increased or decreased before 1992 as opposed to after 1992.
And that's State Senator Lauren Lippincott, District 34, joining us here on Huddle Up, and we'll have a part 2 of that conversation coming up on tomorrow's show, going into much more issues that's going on in just the first 10 days of the Nebraska legislature. So plenty to talk about, plenty to keep our eyes on there moving forward. Again, thank you to Senator Lippincott for being our first state senator on the show.
Yeah, we're more than just a sports talk show.
Yeah.
We get you started the right way each and every morning with your news, weather, and sports. That's what we do here, and we'll do it again tomorrow morning.
Sounds great.
Anyway, 7 o'clock starting time tomorrow. If you'd like to listen to this show again, you can just go to our podcast, any one of our social media sites, and pull her down and listen to us again. You can do that on the Roku TV as well. So thanks for joining us. We'll do it again tomorrow morning here on Huddle Up.
You've been listening to Huddle Up on Extreme Sports, Central Nebraska's new home for sports. Join us every weekday morning from 7 until